Minister of International Relations and Cooperation. Honourable Minister.
Your Excellency President Ramaphosa, the Speaker of the National Assembly, my colleagues in the executive, honorable members. Honorable Nodada, everything you have just claimed here was started by the ANC 6th administration. You cannot have your cake and eat it. The DA needs to decide whether it's in government or it's in opposition. And you cannot be both. In this house, we were confronted by two dangerous extremes. One is an extreme left and the other is an extreme right. Both are counter-revolutionary and leads to destruction and polarization of society. Africa's greatest son of literature, Ben Okri, warns us that to poison a nation, poison its stories. A demoralized nation tells demoralized stories to itself. And this is why the honorable members of the opposition have been doing. The MK is shouting rhetoric about selling out and claiming that private-public partnership in the economy amounts to wholesale privatization.
Order.
Let me remind you that some of your leaders, including your unelected supreme leader, the ANC adopted seminal document ready to govern just before 1994 elections. And I quote, it said with regards to the mixed economy, the balance of evidence will guide a decision for or against various economic policy measures. Such flexible means assessing the balance of evidence and restructuring the public sector to carry out national goals. The supreme unelected leader of the MK party was part of the ANC leadership that adopted this policy document. It goes on to say, such a mixed economy will foster a new and a constructive relationship between the people, the state, the trade union movement, and the private sector, and the markets. The mixed economy policy is not an invention of President Ramaphosa, as the MK is claiming today. If there is a sellout, is the supreme unelected leader of the MK for abandoning his principles for political inconvenience, for political convenience. President Ramaphosa will never get tired of cleaning the mess of your supreme unelected leader. He has cleaned the mess in state-owned enterprises, ESCOM, Transnet, SARS, the list is endless. ANC and societal renewal is in full swing and is irreversible.
He sold everything.
Umgameli uRamaphosa so ukhulumile nomgameli waseRussia ubaba uPutin ukuthi abasebenzisane ukuletha ingane. Ubaba uZuma azithengisile. Lezo ingane sezisendleleni.
Point of order. Point of order.
Ubaba unjani othengisa ingane zakhe? Can't leave them.
Honourable members.
Love them. The world today, at the time where the world was in throes of a Cold War, the late Reverend Jesse Jackson said we should keep hope alive. May I take this opportunity to convey condolences to his family and the entire civil rights movement in the US. Mr. President, when you delivered the State of the Nation address last Thursday, you spoke of a world in turmoil, a world where the strong bully the weak, and where the trade is used as a weapon. Around that same time, Honorable Muda and Honorable Trollip, the Munich Security Conference was taking place in Munich. At that gathering, we heard a clear message, a call to revive the old logic of empire through Mr. Rubio, a longing for days of colonial domination, an appeal to build a new alliance rooted in conquest, invasion, and plunder, the very antithesis of the right to self-determination and recognition of our sovereignty. As we debate the State of the Nation address and the direction of our country, those calls for a new Western century are too loud to ignore. Faced with these calls, we must reaffirm that we have always known Africa is our destiny and Africa is our future. We have reaffirmed this position through the G20, where we confirmed that critical minerals must beneficiate the people of Africa, a compact on AI to benefit the youthful continent of Africa, that digital transformation must benefit the youth of this continent. We have done so for the African child. Honorable Mulder, unlike the FF+, our principled human rights commission, our principled human rights outlook, favors all South Africans, irrespective of color. We do not only speak for the privileged white minority or only for black South Africans or for any colored nationality. We speak for all South Africans because we have a responsibility to lead our country. We speak for all South Africans on Gaza. We speak for all South Africans on Ukraine and Russia to build a peaceful society. We have been consistent even at the UN General Assembly to speak about the sovereignty and the UN Charter. You yourself, your party, only speak for white supremacists. We are very clear as the ANC-led government that our responsibility is to all South Africans. And we will continue to do so to build a nation united in our diversity. To build a united nation means that we must ensure that the economy is inclusive. The World Bank's report has stated that South Africa's economy is not inclusive because the majority of black South Africans are excluded from the economy. It is against this background that BEE must continue to empower and to bring into the economy the majority of the marginalized and the excluded. Therefore, BEE is a constitutional imperative. It cannot be abandoned at the altar of political expediency. The GNU does not mean the bearing of BEE. Neither does the GNU supersede the Constitution, because black economic empowerment, affirmative action, is a constitutional imperative. This must sink in even to the Democratic Alliance. We are in alliance to transform this country in line with the Constitution. There is no document that supersedes the South African Constitution, even the statement of intent. It is against this background that all states shows that BEE has benefited majority of South Africans, not as it was claimed in this podium, that it has only benefited a few political elites. And the stats are there. The Banking Association of South Africa shows that since 2000, JSE-listed companies have devoted about 320 billion to BEE efforts.
It's
and
your
this has
GNU
benefited
partner.
a broad range of South Africans, not just a few political allies. About two-thirds are strategic investments in partnerships, various individuals, and new businesses. 20% is community development, and 15% is staff benefits. These are a broad range of South Africans. Therefore, we must continue with our efforts of growing the economy. We have also grown our exports through export and import diversification. Our strategy is yielding fruits in Southeast Asia, in Asia, in China, and across the globe, including in the African continent.
You want to
Our
privatize
trade
the railway.
diversification is really gaining grounds.
They're privatizing the ports as well.
And our agricultural exports have also shown improvements. Honorable House Chairperson, leadership is not the art of chasing applause or inflaming anger. It is not about placing red overalls or stomping around in military cosplay. It requires a steady hand and the discipline to do the hard work of governing. It means making decisions that are not always popular, but are necessary to protect the long-term interest of our people. That is the leadership President Ramaphosa has consistently demonstrated. Leadership that unites South Africans, rejects populism, chooses responsibility over rhetoric, remains committed to the difficult task of building a truly united, democratic, and a prosperous South Africa. It is against this background that President Ramaphosa never buried his head in sand When there are challenges in the criminal justice system, he appointed a commission of inquiry. When there are challenges in the Western Cape, he is bringing the defense force. He is not saying, this is not my challenge, it's for the DA. It's a collective responsibility. We must all stand up and build a united South Africa together. I thank you.